Okay, this is a video about doing a graphite transfer. So graphite transfers are a way to make a copy of any image. All you need is a pencil, an original image, and some paper to copy it onto. So for the project that we're doing in this instance, we made multiple copies of our image in different sizes. So I'm going to choose this small one. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start by putting graphite all over the back of this image. So it just needs to be in the area that I'm actually transferring. So I don't have to do down here, I just have to do this area. So first I'm just going to essentially color, if you will, really hard with my graphite pencil. So I could do this using my ebony pencil, or in this case, to go a little bit faster, I'm using my graphite stick. So this does not have to be super neat, but it does have to be pretty hard, and you have to cover everything. So you don't want to leave any gaps where you don't have pencil or graphite coverage. All right, let's see. Do a little bit more here. Okay, so for the sake of the demonstration, let's say I got all of that. Okay, then I'm going to flip it over. So the side with the graphite on it is going to go onto the paper that you want to transfer the image to. Notice I've already got pencil rubbing off on my fingers, and that's how this whole thing works. So I'm going to put this on top of the paper where I want it to be, and then I'm going to take any pencil and I'm simply going to trace over the image. So I'm going to do a line drawing over this. Anywhere where I draw, the pressure is going to then make the graphite on the back transfer onto the paper. So here, I'll do some of these big shapes. All right, that's enough, I think, just to get the idea. Then when I flip that over, you can see how that's transferring. So what's making that happen is the pressure of the pencil pushing this stuff, which so easily kind of rubs off onto the paper, and it's rubbing off onto the paper. So to do this successfully, I recommend taping this down. You can tape it to the desk, you can tape it to the edge of the paper, but that way when you lift it up to peek and see if it's working, you won't be shifting the whole image. So that's the basic idea. So you can actually do this with pretty much any material that is soft and has a tendency to rub off. So this is my soft willow or vine charcoal. So I could use this. And this should work in the same way. I'm creating a little bit of a mess here, so. All right. Check and see. Yeah, and that also works. So this is relevant because we are maybe going to want to do this directly into our art journal backgrounds that we previously created. So I've got a few of these different journal backgrounds. Now I could just do my transfer onto here and then cut out that whatever my drawing is and collage on that drawing that's done on the white paper. But if you want it to show through, if you want the background to show through, if you want to do something like this, then you'd have to do your transfer directly onto the paper that's in your sketchbook. So we can go ahead and we can try this. So I was using my charcoal. Let's see if the charcoal will work on my background here. Oops. So the graphite could theoretically work, but if you've got a darker background, then you may not see the graphite that well. So I'll place that where I want it to go. Tape it down. As you're doing this, you do have to press kind of hard because it is the pressure that's making it work. And then you can see that over top of this. Now, this is not super dark. It's a little bit hard to read in places. So after you do your graphite, or in this case, your charcoal transfer, you will want to go over this probably in marker or pen to make sure that it can really be seen, something nice and dark. And now I'm going to talk about doing this maybe one more way. Okay, now let's say you've got a background that's really dark. Just going darker by using charcoal may not actually help you all that much. So you can actually go the opposite direction, and you can use a white chalk pastel. So I've tried this with a white chalk pastel. You could try other materials, maybe even oil pastel, but try it out. You won't really know if it's going to work until you try it. So try a little bit and then pull it back to see if it's working. All right, so I'm going to put this area that I want to transfer. I'll put this over this dark area. And same idea. Do a little bit and we'll lift and see, and you could see, yes, it is working. So if you're going to try something like this and you're not sure if it's going to work, try it a little bit first. One of the things too that you may notice here, I can actually see that this line is showing in person, but it's really hard to see in the video because it's a white line on top of this area that is a little bit lighter. So that's one thing to also consider. If you've got a background that's dark in some places and light in others, it might be hard to see in some of those areas. Whether you go dark or light with your transfer material, it's going to be a little bit hard to see in some of the areas. So again, whichever kind of transfer method you want to use, I would kind of try it out first, see if it will work on top of, you know, this area where you oil pastel, that kind of thing. Yeah, you can probably figure out a way to make it work. But whatever kind you want to use, you are likely then going to have to go over this image again to make sure that it's really going to show. So, for example, if I'm using a dark background, maybe I'm then going to go over this with my white charcoal pencil to really make sure that's standing out. And then maybe in these areas here where it's on a lighter area, then maybe I'm choosing a darker material to make a darker line in those areas. Okay, I think that's the basic idea of the graphite transfer, or in some cases a chalk pastel or charcoal transfer.